Century, and welcome to summer camp. Today we're going to do some fun art, and it's going to be a little bit messy, but not too messy. We're going to use our fingers, and it's called Fingerprint Watercolor Painting. So we're not going to use a brush. We're just going to use thumbs, fingers, and what we're going to do is use a little bit of water, and what I like to use is a water bottle, but it's totally up to you. Whatever, you can use a white paper towel to make it wet, and just needs to be kind of moist, doesn't need to be sopping wet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our thumb and our finger and fingerprints. Now think about this. Every one of us has a different fingerprint and thumbprint. No two are alike, which is really cool. That makes us all super individual and super unique. So what we're going to do is get our palettes, which is the little pans that are in your watercolor kit, your little watercolor tray, and each one of those is a different color, and those are called palettes. So what we're going to do is get them a little bit moist, a little bit wet. You can get your thumb wet first or your finger wet first, whatever you want to do, or just a little bit of water on the paint, on the palette, and then we're going to put our finger there, and then we're going to transfer it and make fingerprints on a piece of paper. So you can put as many fingerprints and thumbprints that you want on that piece of paper, totally up to you. And then when it dries, and it will dry fast because it's watercolor, and water, of course, evaporates, which means it dries up into the air, but it leaves the color. So then when it dries, if you would like, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to take a pen or a marker, and I'm going to add maybe faces, legs, hands, feet, eyes, wings, and make little fingerprint watercolor bugs or critters. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you're going to enjoy that too. So let's hop on over, and I'll meet you at the drawing board. The watercolor palettes. So each one of these is a little individual tray. I don't know if these probably don't come out. Sometimes you can buy a watercolor tray and each one of these comes out. Sometimes they don't. But these are all called palettes, and each palette has a different color, like you can see. I've also got my pencil and my black marker. I've got my trusty water bottle, and I even have a paper towel. And I have it a little bit damp, just because I might use my finger on that, and I might use the water bottle there. And then here's just my regular piece of paper. Now you guys might have a different size paper, and it might be a different texture paper, but it doesn't really matter when we do watercolors. We can do almost any kind of paper unless it's really thin, and then we have to be careful because since it's water, it can get saturated, and saturated is when it gets so full of water it actually tears the paper. So we don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come over here and I'm going to spray each of my palettes. And the other way to do it, like I said, is to get your finger, your thumb wet, and then you just put your, just like I said, just you could do all at the same time. So I've got different colors on here, and then you come over to your paper, and then you can just start making fun fingerprints. And I haven't done a thumbprint yet. There's a thumbprint. But look at what's so cool. When I get really close to these, you can see that each one of them is a little bit different. And if our fingers are a little bit drier, meaning not quite so saturated, look at the little lines in there. And that's what a fingerprint is. And that's what I was saying earlier, that everyone's fingerprint and thumbprint is different. No two are alike. Even on your own hands, there's no two alike. So I'm just going to do some more. Now, if you wanted to, like, say, make a flower, I'm sure you guys could probably figure that out pretty easy. You guys are super smart. You could just put 5 little pieces in a row, and then maybe I'll come over here and take a different color and put that one in the middle. Or if I wanted to make like some kind of a bug or a bird or something like that. So really, it's super simple. I mean, there's not that much to it, except that, well, how can I say there's not much to it? There's always a lot to art, isn't there? I mean, you can keep going and going and going as much as you want to, and then come back over here and, oh, there went my water bottle there. But that's okay. I'm not going to use that anymore. Because see, I'm going to show you up close. See how I don't have a whole lot of water in there? And you don't need a whole lot of water when we do watercolors. And that's one of the things that I learned when I first started to watercolor. I thought, oh gosh, I got to put so much water in there. But then I realized I really don't, because the less watercolor or water that I use in the color itself, the more vibrant, which means bright, colors they are. And if we use too much water, it gets diluted. And diluted means it just washes away into nothing. So I'm gonna go up here, and as you can see all my funny finger and thumbprints all over the place, and I'm gonna come back down here. And again, look at that right there. It's so cool because see all the little lines in there, and when you look at your fingers, you can actually see all those little lines and maybe even indentations. So I'm just going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to choose one. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm just going to make put little eyes on it, and little feelers. Feelers are what butterflies have. And then I'm going to give it little wings, and then little feet. And then I'm going to come back over here, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to color that in. So I'm going to take and put my fingerprint over the pencil. So the cool thing about watercolor is it is transparent. And what transparent means, you can kind of see through it. So you see how when I did the pencil, I'm going to do another one. So I'm just going to put ears on this one. And I can draw over it, but you can still see the colors, can't you? And then I'm going to make a little cat. Give him whiskers and then a tail. And then I'm going to add a little bit more color. So back over here, got it on my finger. And guess what? It's okay if we're outside the lines, because it doesn't matter. Because the beauty of art and all of this is just really having fun. Now, if you want to, you can take a black marker and you can do the same thing. You could put little eyes on it, and you could put a smiley face. You could give it like little fingers. It looks like a bean almost, doesn't it? Maybe give it little feet. I mean, you could just like make cartoon characters. I mean, what if we put a little hat on him? So it's endless. That's, again, the beauty of art. So I'm gonna add a happy face to the flower. And what kinds of things do you think you could come up with? So you've got all these fingerprints here, and this one, I'm going to kind of just do this. I'm going to circle all the 3 different colors, and then I'm going to put little circles there, like little feelers, and I'm going to put wings on this one too, because I like butterflies and things that fly. I think you do too. So again, over here, getting some color, and I'm just going to dot it along there. And again, if it gets a little bit messy and around the other places, that's totally okay. So really, that's all there is to it. And I'll just do a close-up here, and you can see the colors, and it's really pretty how they blend. So you got the purple and green and a little bit of blue, and the same thing over here, and that almost looks like a face in there, doesn't it? So you can use pencils, markers. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You can just keep going and going with this. And again, I'm going to go back over here and see how dry that is. When I mean dry, it is wet inside, but it's not sloshy wet. So it doesn't even make a mess. So again, if you have too much water in there, it's going to be really diluted and it won't be as vibrant. But that is totally up to you, the amazing artist. I hope you had fun with this, and keep on doing this and see what kinds of neat creatures you can come up with. All right, I had a great time with this, and now I can go wash my hands, and then I'll see you at the reflection. Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It's fun getting your fingers and thumbprints all over the piece of paper, and then you see the colors on your fingers and your thumb. But guess what? The cool thing about it is it washes off really easily, and that's another really great thing, and why watercolor is one of my favorites. And I know it's a lot of your favorites too, because it makes really pretty vibrant colors, or it can make softer colors. So what we did today was a lot of fun, and we didn't even use a brush. So you can always use a brush, of course, to watercolor paint, but you can also make fingerprints or thumbprints or both. And when you add a little bit of, like a marker or a pen to it, like we did today, and we added wings to it and eyes and all those kinds of things, we can do all kinds of things with that. So there are so many ways to create masterpieces. And I love all your masterpieces out there because you guys are just so awesome. So again, hope you had as much fun as I did. And remember, always think outside the box. And remember, you can change the world with art. All right, we'll see you next time.